Good afternoon. It has been probably 4-6 weeks since I've sat and made a video. It's been a while since I felt like setting up the YouTube studio, but I'm fresh off my vacation in Florida and there's something very special here that I need to show you. Now this video features, or we'll talk about, two things that I said I would never do on my channel. And here it is, 2023, and I'm doing it on my channel. The first is mentioning a subscriber, friend, viewer's last name. I do have his permission. The second is having a gasoline engine featured on my channel. Now, the reason I have that is because this gentleman, awesome man, Keith Good, offered me an extended period of time to evaluate and play with this engine. So, without further ado, let's show you what the engine is. As you can see, this just looks like just a plain box, but this is just a sleeve that I think came over the engine. Now this is a used engine that Keith bought from eBay. And let me quickly show you the side of the box. Yes, it's a Saito FA-300T. Excuse me. So you may say, well, that's not a gasoline engine. Well, it is a gasoline engine. It is a gasoline conversion engine, and he bought it in this form. So let's open up the contents and look at all that's included in this box, which is just quite phenomenal. I love the FA-300T. I've had several of them in the past. They were fun to run, big engines. So the first thing we've got here is the exhaust manifolds, and these look pretty damn good. It also came with the instruction manual and a receipt from eBay. So let's open this up first. So what this is CH Ignition's module here for a twin cylinder engine. Now the CH Ignitions, I'm not sure if many of you know, many of you probably do know, CH Ignitions is a company, I believe, that was founded and run by Adrian, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, out of West Palm Beach, Florida. I have dealt with him several times in the past, and I take this out, we'll go through the rest of the contents of the box here shortly. I have dealt with him several times in the past when I was doing my conversions, and he's a good fellow. He's got a YouTube channel that shows this exact conversion, and the thing is, he actually did this conversion on this engine back in 2015. Let's drop that there. So here's the engine. I won't say brand new. It's not a new engine. In fact, before I go any further, I'm going to let you just sit here and drool over this. I'm going to read exactly what Keith got from the eBay seller. It was either in the description or a question he asked, I'm not sure, but we'll find out. So the eBay description below from the seller: this engine was run about 2 hours on glow, kept oil in cool, dry conditions. I ran it on a 40% scale plane at 19 pounds and it pulled the plane like a champ. Was pretty high in glow fuel consumption. Yeah, I wonder why he wanted to do the conversion. Recently I did a gas conversion from CH Ignition. He didn't really do it, the seller. He let Adrian do it. This includes the ignition, pickup ring, gas manifold, and Walbro type pump carb. I had the ignition timing and installed spark plugs. This CH Ignition system is new and never been installed or even connected to power. So all the new conversion here is brand new, it's never even been used before. Fired up. The motor has not been run with the ignition, so I would check everything before trying to run it. That's what kind of threw me when I read that, and then after I received this earlier this week, I contacted Adrian, sent him some pictures. He's like, I did that. So now I feel a little bit more confident that I can fire this thing up as it is without having to worry about the timing not being right, because I don't have the timing tool or anything like that anymore, the timing verification tool. I don't have any of that stuff anymore, so now I feel a little bit better. The bearings feel smooth and the outside of the motor is very nice except for some small castor oil stains on the lower case. Compression is outstanding and the valves work smoothly. I plan to install this motor on a large, okay, but I don't have time or energy. Okay. I purchased this engine, $700 approximately, new from a local dealer in Centerville, Ohio, USA in 2000. And I purchased the ignition in 2016 for $300 approximately. Now, Adrian tells me that he did this in 2015 because that's what it says here on this module. So here it is. Here's the engine. This is the first time I've ever even held a gas conversion. And those of you that are very familiar with gas engines, please be gentle with my ignorance because I really don't know what I'm talking about here. But obviously this is a Walbro carb. This, I believe, is the choke mechanism. And this is the throttle, obviously, because I can see the butterfly. Now, in the videos on Adrian's YouTube channel, you see these two screws here. He actually had a metal plate covering this. And that plate is not present here or in the contents of the box. And I thought in the video he said something about to keep the prop blast from impacting the tuning of the engine or something. Because I think the very first conversion that Adrian did, he had the pump or the carb down at the bottom, and then for some reason he modified it to come up to the top. So I don't know. I haven't touched it. I'm not touching any of the screws on this thing. I wouldn't even know what to do. So I believe, obviously, this is the fuel inlet. And again, throttle, because the butterfly moves. I think this is the choke. Other than that, I don't have a clue what's going on with this thing. So this is one of those times I want to say, if anybody would like me to attempt to run this thing, I'm going to need to purchase a few things. Here's the caster stains the seller was talking about, no big deal. I would need to purchase a few things. First is going to be a battery pack to power the ignition system, and then a fuel can, a little 1 gallon fuel can, fuel and oil. Now Adrian said that he ran these on 20-to-1 mix, which is fine, I understand that. I don't know what kind of oil you would put in this thing, and I know many of you will respond and say this is the kind you do. I know you could probably get those little oil bottles that you mix for like weed whackers and stuff like that, or chainsaws. I don't know if that's the right type of oil to use or not. I'm sure plenty of you will help me out with that. But this engine does have extremely good compression. It feels silky smooth, and it's just phenomenal. It's beautiful. Now, I'm going to put this aside momentarily so we can go through the rest of the contents of the box, because this is kind of something that I was not expecting at all, and it kind of gives me some options here. Now, I asked Adrian, I attempted to ask Adrian about the intake manifold. Now, to me, it looks like that these are stock still. I believe this is still the stock manifold, that he didn't cut or modify them, and that this part here is simply an extension to move it out and back further to facilitate the mounting of this type of carb. Now the reason that's important is what I'm going to get to here. I'm going to maybe just put this off to the side so it's still sort of in frame and you can see it, but I want to go through the other contents of this. This is what shocked the hell out of me, because I was not expecting this. Look at that. Here's the original carb. This was a single carb engine. Later versions of the 300T were dual carb. This is a single carb version, and the carb looks to be in perfect shape, and it has the mounting plate. So what that means is, in theory, and I confirmed this with Adrian, this ignition system doesn't give a damn what fuel you run on the ignition system. It's just a timing mechanism, and according to Adrian, the timing would be the same for gas or glow. So what that means is, in theory, I could actually remove this carb, these extensions, and hopefully the manifolds haven't been messed with, and actually put the original carb back on it and run this as glow ignition. which I'm a little bit more familiar with. Let's see what else is in this box, or this bags here. Some little hardware in here, but there's some bigger things. Oh, these are just the clamps for the exhaust manifold. Looks like another set of this stuff here. So that's not really of much interest. And here we got the other basic things that come with these engines. Some prop hubs, some mounting hardware and stuff like that. I thought there was some other stuff in the bag over here. I thought there was another bag. Oh yeah, this is interesting too. So the original tools that came with the engine don't appear that they've ever been opened at all, which is sweet as hell. And here's the original glow plug harness for igniting the glow plug. So that is what this video is about. And as you can see, this is just a simply beautiful engine that has very low runtime and pretty much ready to go for fuel. Now, right now, as I speak and I film this, we're in semi-blizzard conditions. When I got home from, or when I left from Florida a week and a half ago, or the 11th, we were going to be losing 90% of the snowfall on the ground was gone, which means at that time I left, I probably could have driven to the field. That big snowbank that had been blocking the way was probably gone, and I could have gotten to the field. Now, different story. We're having a blizzard. We're supposed to have up to maybe 15 inches of snow, and when they plow that road again, the people that plow that road don't give a crap about anybody trying to go into the field, so they just plow it and leave a big berm of snow there. So I'll be back to square zero or square one again with trying to get back into the flying field. So that means that any attempts at running this are on hold for quite some time. But this is the engine that Keith Good was just so good to send to me and provide me with opportunity to run this thing. And like I said, I never really intended to ever play with gasoline. It's not something I really enjoy doing, because I don't like the smell of the fuel. I'm completely ignorant of how these gas carbs work. The things I've read about them from forums and stuff, it just seems like people have problems with them. And I don't know. I just a little hesitant about that. But what am I supposed to do when somebody offers to send you this beautiful engine and says, here, play with this for as long as you want? What am I supposed to say? No? So anyway, I thought it'd be interesting for all of you to see this engine, and especially all the comments that you're going to give me and advice on what the hell is this thing? Do I really need the cover to block airflow here to keep this from leaning out too much? Because I'm figuring as you throttle up and you put more prop blast through here, you're probably going to end up, this thing will be wide open, you're going to be leaning it out then, because it's going to be more fuel or more air to fuel ratio, so there could be some issues. Now, good thing is there's spacers here, and if I have to, I can just get a small piece of aluminum, drill some holes in it, and mount it there to just partially cover it. So I will see about, when I post this, putting the link to Adrian's YouTube channel and the run of this engine in this configuration. He had two, and like I said, the one showed the carb down at the bottom. I'll show the one up here, and you'll see that cover on here. Many of you may have already gone there and seen it already. But this has been, you know, my first experience looking at a Walbro carb, and it looks pretty damn cool actually. So I'm looking forward to that. So help me out. Be kind and gentle to my ignorance, but help me understand what I would really need to do to get this thing fired up. Anyway, thank you all for watching.